Hello YouTube. This video here is about a remedial job that we were recently contracted to do by a lady who found us on YouTube, visited our website and got in touch with us for help, essentially. She commissioned a solar project earlier this very year, locally, and sadly the installation is what we in the industry call Naija solar. I don't know why they call it Naija solar, but that's what they call it, which is, you know, you get some electrician who has no idea as to how to harness DC electricity and put some solar panels on your roof, typically fake panels, connects them with some electrical cable, you know, hooks them up to a charger, and presto, there you go. You know, so as to be expected, you know, she didn't really get much of an impact from her solar installation, and that's typically the case with people who have this sort of badly installed solar, is that they never feel the impact of solar in their lives. I mean, if you talk to them, they're like, oh yeah, it's made a difference, yeah, it's made some difference, yeah, you know, kind of thing. But solar power is not the kind of thing. I mean, you know, there's an African proverb that says that an elephant is not something that goes past and you say to yourselves, oh, did something just go past there? You know, when an elephant goes past you, there's no equivocation, you know an elephant just went past. So solar power is something that if you have good quality, properly installed solar power, there's no equivocation. You feel it. It's like, oh my God, what? Yes, I feel it. It's made a difference. Wow, really? That's the reaction people get when they have good quality solar. Not, oh yeah, no. So you can tell. So if your experience of solar, if you've got solar and your experience is one of come see, come sa, you know, whatever, then you know that possibly there's something amiss. You know, as I always say, normal electrical cables were in existence before they now went away to invent UV listed solar cables. There's a reason. There's a reason for it. There's a reason why we don't use normal electrical cable for solar. I don't understand. Anyway, so we've gone to the lady's residence, looked, you know, and unfortunately the panels were fake, the cables were just normal electrical cables, the charger was... I'm not going to go into too much detail because the video is due to follow. Don't want to give too much away. But now she is enjoying, because we have basically, it's been almost like a complete reinstallation, with the exception of batteries, which thankfully we were able to rescue. Another couple of months of batteries would have died as well. So, you know, now she's enjoying what, you know, she should have been enjoying from day one, which is 24-hour solid electricity, good power. And I spoke to her the other day and I said, look, when you get the hang of how to manage your loads and stuff, you can, you know, switch on a 1 horsepower, 1.5 horsepower air conditioner, particularly in the hot sun, and enjoy it. Why not? You've paid for it. Good quality solar. So anyway, the video is to follow. Enjoy. Yeah. This is the next premises we're at today. It's a lovely bungalow with lots of grounds and a really nice location of the Lekki Peninsula. So what has happened here is that the homeowner did what we term Nigerian spec solar, which as usually turns out she didn't really enjoy it. It wasn't a good experience for her, and then they called us to come and assess, advise and implement. So what we have done, we've tested the solar panels that were here before. It was a 2 kilowatt array, and all the solar panels were cheap, fake, poor quality panels that had all burnt out. So we have taken them off and have installed a 3 kilowatt array up there using genuine, good quality monocrystalline panels all up there. And we have replaced all those panels there and taken off all the cheap ones. We have also used proper solar cabling, not grid cabling, proper solar cabling, which is UV resistant, and we have used those to transmit power down to the powerhouse. We have built a power shed, dedicated power shed for this property. I'll go around to show you. And quite a lot of the components that they've used before we have had to discard because they were poor quality or burnt or malfunctioning. So all these solar panels on the ground here are cheap, fake, poor quality panels. You can see the marks of the railings. They've been there for a while. We've had to condemn them. All the diodes are burnt. The cheap fake panels. They haven't lasted a year, so that's them condemned. And you've seen the panels on the roof. So we've also condemned quite a few things here. We've built an outhouse and we've taken out defective parts, defective inverter, and we installed a new inverter. And we're just in the middle of finishing off this installation here with a large earth cable going outside into the ground. So that will be the last thing we're doing here. Thankfully we were able to rescue their batteries. All the batteries are alive. We've put proper DC interruptions in, which all this wasn't there before. Yeah, it was just wires to this this charge controller. This was the charge controller that was there before. This cheap PWM charge controller. This is not sufficient to power your house. This is just a PWM charge controller. I think it's probably 20 amps. So we're just upgrading a breaker we've just found. This has got a mechanical defect. Keeps tripping back. So we're replacing it from there. This is why you have to do post-installation checks. Make sure that everything is running properly after installation. But otherwise, you can see the strings coming up from up. But you've got an MPPT charge controller there, AVR, so yeah, proper, look, 50mm cables. We're going to put that in a box now, so I'm just waiting on the box, run a cable, and we're out of here. Of course, we've put that in there. And you can see that they are currently enjoying 30 amps at 1500 watts from the panels. 30 amps coming up. Long and short of it, we are currently doing 27 amps. You can see the batteries are now at 56.2 and it's just past midday. It's just gone past midday and it's just gone past midday and the battery bank is very, very full. Okay, that's the beauty of solar. Beauty of solar. So that's the cable that's going to be buried into the ground. So it's all done, beautifully installed, properly done. So we have put a proper DC box to provide all the interruptions, fusing, breaker, string isolation. It's all in there, as you can see. Yeah, optimizer, breaker, surge protection, everything there. Not just running wires straight. We've put on an MPPT charge controller, we've put in an AC box, we've put in a new inverter. So, and it's working much better. Yeah, Abby, it's better, Abby, it's not better. It's better. So now you can see the old stuff there. So yeah, this is the kind of thing we talk about. So it's a beautiful bungalow with lots of gardens and breeze. You can see the boys having a nice rest there. Beautiful grounds, beautiful premises. Those are the old cheap panels with burnt diodes. I mean, you can see the marks from the old railings rusted there. You know, poor quality. This was the charge controller that was there before. This cheap PWM charge controller. This is not sufficient to power your house. This is just a PWM charge controller. I think it's probably 20 amps.